In a previous bonus episode, we discussed our most pleasant surprises with the Montreal Canadiens when it comes to this year's training camp. Now we look at the biggest concerns. Is it the injuries? Is it the play of certain young players trying to get some of these available spots, or even veterans in this case? What would you all characterize as the biggest concern that you have seen, or concerns? It could be multiple, with the Montreal Canadiens throughout this training camp.
For me, injuries. I mean, I haven't seen a training camp where you have so many key guys, injured with maybe some serious injuries. I mean, Hoffman, I mean, Edmondson, these kind of guys, we expected them to be back sooner than what they're showing. And you're going into the start of the season very, very soon. And we talked about Carey Price. I mean, this is not a great situation to not have, your group close to 100% healthy to start the season. So I'm a little concerned about some of the guys that are hurt right now, and just who's going to take a job when the season starts, and how long these guys are going to be out, and when will they get back to be part of the team mix, because you need each and every one of those key guys to be healthy and be able to play, obviously, to have any type of success.
Yeah, the biggest concern is Carey Price. Again, this team will go as far as Carey Price can carry them, and we saw how far a good Carey Price can carry them last season. The Canadiens don't get to the Stanley Cup final without Carey Price playing the way he did last season. Now, after this knee surgery, we don't know when he's going to be back. We don't know what kind of shape he's going to be in when he comes back. He's been very inconsistent the last 3 or 4 seasons during the regular season. Jake Allen's a really good NHL goal, solid backup, but he's not a guy who's going to carry your team to the Stanley Cup final, I don't think, as the number one guy. And the injuries. I mean, Shea Weber's gone for the whole season, maybe forever, because of his injuries, and now Joel Edmondson. That's 2 of your top 4 defense, and 2 of those 4 Clydesdales that logged all that ice time last year are gone. Looks like it doesn't look like Edmondson's going to be ready to start the season. That's for sure. He hasn't been on the ice for any practices at training camp. Hoffman and Edmondson both hurt before training camp even started. As Rick was saying, hasn't seen a training camp with injuries like these. The guys are getting hurt before training camp even started. Cole Caulfield gets hurt during the warm up for a scrimmage. It's like one injury after another. So injuries is the biggest concern, but Carey Price is the number one concern above all, because if he can't play, if he's out for an extended period of time, this team's going to have a hard time. I mean, as I said, Jake Allen's a good goalie, but who's going to back him up? He can't play every single game. So goaltending and Carey Price is the biggest concern going into the season by far, I think.
Yeah, I agree with Stu. It's the goaltending situation. How long will Carey Price be out for? Are we talking short term? Are we talking about long term? We don't know. The Canadiens' timeline of when Carey Price is back is constantly moving. And there's no real solid backup goaltender for Carey Price, something that we've spoken about before. They went off and got Samuel Montembeault off of the waiver wire to a move that they felt that they had to do to try and have some depth when it comes to their goaltender position. Hayden Primo hasn't been playing up to the level that the Montreal Canadiens were hoping for. So you don't really have anyone to back up Jake Allen if Carey Price is not ready to go anytime soon. And that's a huge concern. And I think if their defensive core was a little bit, less injured, had a little bit more veteran players on it, maybe you wouldn't be as concerned about the goaltending situation because you've got some solid defensemen in front of you. But that's not the case. So it's kind of like this domino effect that's happening right now with the goaltending and the defense.
I'll just say that, I guess to kind of give a different answer, but I still think it's a pretty big concern. I think the fact that Ryan Palin has just been mad throughout training camp, that's a bit of a surprise to me. We all saw how good he was with the Laval Rocket last year. I think a lot of people expected him to leave no shadow of a doubt that he could be in this lineup. And I think he's been Rick Reed on the full episode said that his play in the training camp so far has been unacceptable. And when you hear stuff like that, that just kind of gives you pause about whether or not Ryan Palin really has what it takes to be penciled in as this team's number 4 center going forward. This is a guy that obviously is the first round pick with this team. He had the debut that he had. It's clearly not the game we're going to expect from Ryan Palin going forward, but I think Montreal Canadiens fans were expecting that he'd at least stand out throughout this training camp. And I think a lot of people don't necessarily think that he's done that. Depending on how the team shakes out with all these injuries, he may just be in the lineup out of necessity. more than just in terms of him really earning that spot. But at the end of the day, you'd think Ryan Paling would have just kind of stood out a little bit more in this training camp. But yeah, a couple of concerns surrounding the Montreal Canadiens over these last few weeks and last few days through training camp. You can let us know in the comments section below what your biggest concern has been with the Montreal Canadiens throughout training camp and preseason. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, subscribe to the Hockey Inside Out newsletter, and check out hockeyinsideout.com to watch our full episode. We talk more about Carey Price and the injuries in the full episode, so you want to check that out.